Maybe. Maybe.
Possible.
Well, I'm looking.
Yes, we're live.
We're live. Oh,
Mhm.
yay. Okay. Small victories. Is this small? This is a big victory.
I know. This is a big one.
Big victory.
Considering last week we attempted for a full 45 minutes and it didn't
That's
work.
right. This is a week-long victory. We have
Yes.
done it. All right. So, hi, everybody.
Hi.
My puppies are going to come in and out, and if they bug me, I'm going to stand up from the chair. I'll just probably make you the only face showing, and I'll go lock them out of the room.
I just had to text family members to come and help with my dogs too. So
Yeah. Well, we'll see. This is the first time Marco has both of them have been in here, but not with me working. Marco's the only one that's been in here with me at the mic working. So I have no idea what they're going to do right now. We'll see. So we're going to be talking about body image, your self-image, your awareness of yourself. And you and I, outside of the stream, started this conversation, and we were talking about how people that you would think would be very aware of not allowing themselves to be sick for the sake of their body image have issues. It's almost like the manicurist nails are never done, the beautician's hair is never done. It's like that. So let's talk about how that can happen even with somebody who knows the ins and outs of health.
You know, I think that media, and we get so used to looking around and comparing ourselves one to another and getting feedback from, you know, the visual feedback from what we see in other people. And in our minds, we create this image of what we should or shouldn't look like. And, you know, I think it's really important that the scripture basically tells us don't compare ourselves among ourselves because we're so very individual. But we all fall, you know, we all fall into that trap. And, you know, you look at, you know, art pieces all the way back into the, you know, the Roman Empire, and they had perceptions of what beauty was with women. And then it's just gone through the ages where, you know, women have traditionally tried to alter the way that they look based on what they perceive to be beautiful in that era. And so, you know, we go through like the 1600s and that rigid corset that, you know, kind of created this shape and really just like morphed the body a bit. You know, that just kind of over the years kind of began this ongoing trend. And, you know, even into the 90s, you know, the 1900s, you know, it's very fashionable to be super thin. And we really have to kind of make sure that we're not altering our health in effort to make sure that we kind of look like these things. And, you know, it can be that those in the nutrition world can, you know, fall prey to this because they have the information that they need in order to kind of manipulate their nutrition status, and it can kind of go to the other direction. And so, you know, in the most recent years, there's actually been a conversation about, you know, body positive and an initiative to really understand, you know, that health can be achieved in many different forms. It doesn't have to be someone who is a, you know, a size 2. It doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be a specific figure. It's about the lifestyle modifications that take place in order to be able to preserve the health, because both the extremes of either super underweight or obesity, both of those have risks with them. And so just really trying to get to the place where we respect the temple that God gives us,
right?
And say, we talk about this, like, we financially talk about financial stewardship. We talk about taking good responsibility with our time and making sure that we're good stewards of our time. We measure these things as important, and our health is just as important. And so that's really where a mind shift happens. And then, you and I, we further talked about, there was you actually had messaged me about the risk of body dysmorphia, where the perception of what someone should look like causes a fixation on a flaw, and that can really alter someone's behavior in a way that can be self-depreciating in a lot of different areas,
and so not healthy, especially as mothers, as women. We're the ones who seem to be the most kind of gimping along with body image. You've got almost a fad where what was it, dad bod a little while ago, a couple years ago, there was this big thing, and I'm not knocking that or whatever, but what I am saying is that women are, we are so intimidated to be as accomplished, all that we need to accomplish, because we are intimidated by our bodies. And one of the things that you and I were talking about before was how if you lose a large amount of weight, you can't believe that you are as small as you are. Every time you go into the dressing room, you keep taking the stuff that you're used to taking, and then maybe 3 different sizes, and it's so shocking when you need to go even smaller than that. And that's kind of a fun part of changing your body. However, something that as moms who are needing to instill confidence in our daughters, if they are seeing us continually hating ourselves and not liking the body that we're in, the shape that we're in, the same thing that has happened, that we've experienced as losing weight, when you go from a body of a 15-year-old or a 20-year-old to a 30-year-old and a 35-year-old, it has the opposite reaction. You can't hardly bring yourself to like yourself. Everybody else will feel like you're so beautiful. Your shape is beautiful. Your body is beautiful. But because you remember yourself as 21 with no muscle mass, no fat, no babies yet, nothing, it's hard to see yourself as beautiful in your new body.
Right. And that mental image continues to change as we go along in life. And, you're exactly right, because I do remember a time of, after losing weight, getting to a more healthy weight, and really not even recognizing what would be a suitable size for me. And it was like putting on a new set of eyes to get used to that. Just really, a different perspective, because the reel that was going in my head was a very poor body image for so long. To unwind that and to be in a different position where you say, I am in much better health than I was before. So therefore, what reflects on the outside is different. And then, that transpired in my mid 30s, and here I'm kind of eking into my mid 40s. And though the scale is similar, the body shape changes.
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. That's where I am at as well.
Yeah. And so to kind of get in, get at a fixed spot in our mind where we feel like it's always going to be this way, we kind of set ourselves up for failure if we don't
Absolutely.
recognize that, we can, as we age, still continue to have a good perception of who we are and what we present to the world.
And
Because
it's important that we allow the creator of our bodies.
mhm,
It's important that we allow the creator, we invite the creator to give us contentment and
right,
peace about
hmm
who we are.
right,
Um, it's it's when we invite him to do that, he can bring a peace to us and a calm to us that self-help books that are helpful cannot
hmm
do, that
right,
friends who are encouraging cannot do. There is just an
hmm
element, there is just a level that he can, of contentment that he can bring, that will help us to accept who we are. In the
hmm
last Definitely in the last 2 years, my mind has been kind of switching from, as a single woman, I have to continually put my desire for romance, or what my imagination of what it would be like to be married right now, I have to continually put that in the back of my mind or shelve it, so that I can focus on the things that are real in my hands right now.
right,
And when you are consumed with whether or not you're pretty enough to even be attractive, whether or
hmm
not you're, all of those things can put the goal and the purpose that we have in life, it can just put it constantly out of kilter. And so I have, especially in the last couple of years, I have had to bring myself to the foot of the cross and say, God,
hmm
give me peace about
right,
this stage that I'm entering in, because I've never
right,
been at this season before.
right,
And the other people that I've seen in this season, my culture has, I don't know what the word is, but we don't have a lot of respect and admiration for elders in our culture. We see them as old people. And from the time we're 20 and 25, we start trying to fight being an old person. Like, coming to the mark of 30, we act like that's the end of the world. Coming to the mark of 40, it's like we
hmm
have to get a different vision of what the
right,
next season, it's beautiful. The
right,
next season is beautiful, and I have purposefully in the last couple of years been on the lookout for people in their 50s and 60s that I find beautiful. And I'm not
hmm
necessarily finding them beautiful because they've got a skinny model body, they
right,
not because they've got the same color hair that they had in their 20s, they've got that in their 70s. That's not
hmm
what I'm looking for. I'm looking for confident, content, mature people.
right,
And
absolutely.
that's my goal.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And I think, going back to really kind of seeking God for that perspective, God always talks to me about the lenses that we view things through, and how important it is for us to, take on his eyes and really look at things from his perspective. And when we're having a down day, for us to say, God, I pray that you would help me to see my impact of in this world through your eyes, and not through the things that are just surface, or just what people see on the outside. And really, when we, like you said, when we think about people who we are attracted to because of it's because of their persona. It's not just what you see on the outside. It's because their
Right.
smile is warm. It's because
Yes.
their eyes are bright. It's because
Yes.
they are able to convey that they want to share something good with you
Yes.
or with others.
they
And
seem to have enough self-control of themselves that they
mhm.
have surplus for you.
Right. Absolutely.
But when you, as an individual, when I, as a person, am feeling frantic about my own life, how
Mhm.
can I convey to anybody else that I can help them?
Right.
And
Right.
this rolls over into our roles in our home.
Mhm. Mhm.
If our children are living with mothers that are just frantic about everything, how are they
Right.
supposed to trust that we have direction for them?
Right.
That's,
Absolutely.
oh
Yeah.
my goodness, humans
Yeah.
are built to defend themselves.
Right.
If there is nobody to comfort and defend them, we have to stand up for ourselves. We can't help it. We will come out fighting. Um,
Yeah.
and if a human is being raised in a home where the parents are not providing that comfort and defense, that child
Mhm.
has a need to defend themselves. And parents that aren't aware that they've got to be in control of their own lives
Mhm.
so that they can offer protection and make that child feel, they think the child is just constantly fighting them. The
Mhm.
child may just be defending themselves in an
Yeah.
environment where a mom just hates herself. And because she
Yeah.
hates herself, it's just kind of passed around the home.
Right. And so, like we've talked about many times, this the essential 10 really is geared towards looking at moms and at young women and trying to impart in to them um, these essential 10 pieces that would help them to flourish in
Yes.
their homes, because those they often have a wide impact. You think about not just their children that are in their homes, but their children's friends that are
Yes.
around them, or nieces, nephews, and then on to grandchildren. And they that a lot of that on from one generation to the next comes, it's
Absolutely.
a modeling type of thing. And confidence isn't something that exudes out of me. I was an extremely shy young person, even into my adult ages. And I remember the first time I was asked to pray sing, and let me just also preface this that singing is not my natural gift. So definitely putting myself in a place where I know that that is not a natural gift, but definitely in that setting and also in front of other people was almost almost crippling because I was so shy. But
Absolutely. Yes.
I kind of just closed my eyes and I said, Lord, I need you to kind of guide me through this, because there's obviously something here that I need to be able to work out. And I think that goes back to the image that we have of ourselves and what we have to offer to others, and the trap that we want to stay out of,
Mm-hmm.
and that being the whole, that whole improper body image, that improper self image. But really, we talked about, having that health stewardship, but even um, just really being mindful of what you impart to others in the
Yes.
setting, in these
Yes.
individual settings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we go into different seasons of our lives from glory to glory, every new season is difficult to go into because you've not
Uh-huh.
been there before.
Mhm.
There may be elements that are the same, like every year we get uh,
Mhm.
summer, fall, winter, spring. We get that. So there may be elements that we recognize, but
Mhm.
every new age and stage, and there will be difficulties in every single one.
Mhm.
Um, my mom has always been such a great example to me of living healthy. Now, when you look at my mom, she's got a round body type and she's always had to work on. My mother says that she was dieting when she was 12 and 13 years old. She already knew what diets were. And my mother's just always had to work on um, loving herself, but she always
Mhm.
has. She always
Mhm.
has. And
Mhm.
I remember my mom crying about, like she didn't want to try on clothes. I remember one time, this was the first time I realized that my mother didn't had any issue at all with her appearance. We were in California for vacation. We had done shopping at these wonderful places that we don't have access to here. We'd gone to, oh my word, I almost said the Gap. It was long before the Gap. Oh, now I'm gonna have to research and remember Esprit. You
Oh
remember
yes.
Esprit?
Oh yes, I do. I do. I do.
We had gone to the Esprit outlet in San Francisco, and we had gone to Jessica McClintock Gunny Sack outlet. And I was like, I don't know, somewhere around the age of 11, 12. And my mom had decked me out. We were at an outlet, so she could, we were getting the best bang for our buck. It was just fantastic. And my dad was disappointed that my mom didn't get anything. And
Mm.
my mom cried. We were in a restaurant and my mom cried. And that's the first time I realized, oh, my
Mm.
mom doesn't enjoy trying on clothes.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
But here's why I had no idea. My mom just conveyed the goodness God had given her. She did
Mhm.
not constantly talk about being overweight. She did constantly watch what she ate. But I feel like that was a
Mhm.
good thing she imparted to us. She wasn't
Mhm.
snooty about, like, of course, back then, I don't even know if she could have gotten organic or non-organic, or it wasn't even a thing in the 70s and early 80s. I do remember when my mom's friends started talking about it in the late 80s. I remember them talking about how far they would drive to go get more natural foods and so forth, outside
Mhm.
of Marion County, because we're so
Mhm.
backwoods over here. Anyway, my point is that even though that was my mom's body type, my mother always ate properly. She
Mhm.
always exercised. She did Jane Fonda when Jane Fonda's VHS tapes first came out. She did oldies with Richard Simmons. She was
uh,
constantly working out. And my mom is 67 or 68 at this point, and she still gets on a stationary bike. She still lifts weights. She still watches what she eats. She is just
mhm.
part
And
of the goodness she conveys is that she has self-control in her life.
right. And that's all, those are all deposits in the health bank, really,
Yes,
when
well
you think
said.
about it over time. The diet culture has us thinking that we can do this quick fix, see a rapid result, and then, go about our lives. And it's so challenging when, it's difficult for someone who talks about therapeutic diets all day long to really get on board with a lot of these just really strict diets that are not necessary they're not health promoting, I should say, because I know that they are actually very short lived. And you
Right.
get to the end of whatever your goal number is,
Yep.
you sit on the top of that mountain, you go, I'm here, and then all of a sudden it's where do you end up going? You just end up sliding
Right.
right down the hill again. And that is sort of, we've got to change the mindset of, I've got to be able to fit into this, size 8 dress for such and such, because
Right.
that's a short lived. But
Right.
like you're talking about with your mom, just it's the daily investments, it's the daily decisions. Does it mean you never eat ice cream? No. Does it mean you don't have pizza on occasion? No. It just means that you prioritize
Yeah.
what those times are, and you sort of you set that aside and you say, well, this is for a special occasion. But for the rest of the time, I'm going to, put some deposits in my health bank. I'm going
Yeah.
to make sure that my body is fueled in a way that is gonna give me some longevity. over the weekend, we've been working in the yard a
I've
lot.
seen some pictures. They look beautiful.
Oh, well, thanks. With the limited outside activity, what it's done is it's given us an opportunity to kind of look around and say, oh, we got some stuff that we could do around here. And my creative youngest he's built this pond in the backyard, and so they actually added a stream, and part of that had to do with the fact that they needed to make sure that the algae didn't grow into the pond. And long drawn out experiment, I should say, but they built this stream, and because I'm trying to make it look as natural as possible, I wanted to line the inside of the stream with these rocks, and we have a massive pile of river rock that's been on the side of the house for a couple of years, and I needed to be able to pull out those rocks and clean them up and then lay them in this little stream. So that meant I was raking these rocks, putting them in a bucket, tracing that bucket to the middle of the backyard, rinsing them off. And so anyways, a lot of hard work, which I thought about later, that I would have never had that functional strength had I not began to really make some investments in my physical stature, several years ago. I never would have been able to do that. And as we age, our muscle mass continues to depreciate and deplete if we're not purposeful about maintaining it. And it's like it can get away from us very quickly. And so many of our elders, if they have a fall later in life, it's really hard for them to rebound, because that broken bone takes all of the energy, and they physically don't have enough muscle strength to support their skeleton. And so, when you say, I'm going to change the way that I see this vehicle that I have been given, and I'm going to make some time investment, it takes on a shape of its own. And you then put that lens that God has given you and say, God, I want you to look at me, help me to look at myself the way that you see me, help me to have this functional strength to do the work that you have desired for us to do. I mean, we're called to do so many different things. In so many different directions. And Denee, I think about you and the energy that you expend leading worship on a platform. I can't imagine how many steps you get in.
Whenever I hit my calories Sunday, I always hit them a lot earlier. And I don't have my thing set up to count steps, because it will get, like, just playing piano, it'll count steps, so it burns calories. So I use it for my heartbeat instead. It always goes off on Sunday. Woo-hoo,
yeah, absolutely. And it's just taking those taking stock of your endurance and your ability to do things functional.
There are reasons to look nice, and they looking nice and looking sensual, like the world calls us to look, are different things.
Oh yes, definitely.
And looking nice has everything to do with being a temple of the Holy Ghost. We present ourselves well, we look nice, we fix our hair, we put on nice clothes, so that we can be an attractor to Him.
Right.
We want to take care of our health. So as we say, as long as we're alive, God has purpose for us. When He's done with me, He's going to take me out of here. So that's what we say. That's what we believe. Right. So if we're going to be 85 and still here, what are we able to do? And that's kind of what I drill to myself when I'm not feeling motivated, because I don't have anybody who tells me, oh yeah, you look nice, or I'm not geared toward trying to please in a contemporary way. I tell myself, Denee, you want to be functioning in what way when you're 85? Now go be that
Right.
person.
Yes, it's absolutely true. Trying to make sure that we're, we're able to breathe through our activities, and we're able to, run. At this point, it's about how do I stay active enough to play with my grandson. That was a big thought in my mind. How do I make sure that it doesn't deplete me
Right.
to just go and have fun with the kids?
Yeah. One of my motivators is a weird motivator. So they are Madonna leading the Super Bowl at 50. I don't suggest that anybody go and watch that performance, but she had so much energy at 50 years old. And I tell myself on Sunday, you buck it up, girl. You are less than 50. You're doing less dancing than they're doing, and you get up there and you do what you have to do. Michael Jackson, 50 years old, going into this major, it's like you take care of your health, because just because the world says, oh, this is an old age. Okay, it can be. I am already experiencing some depletion of energy. I'm already experiencing aches and pains. I know what it's like to put an ice pack on my back first thing in the morning. However, I'm just not going to let people do things for the devil at a greater level of excellence than what I can give. I'm not Madonna. I'm not Michael Jackson. And thank God I'm not these people. But I'm not going to let them give more. I'm not going to let them give more. I'm going to give everything I have. Period.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. This is definitely a topic that we could talk about for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest takeaway that I would want any ladies, any moms, any young people, any young ladies that are listening, is to recognize early that you have such great value through in the eyes of God, and not to take simple things for granted, with regard to your health, to really start to pay attention early on, even before a young lady is ready to have a child. Her body is going through so many things, and just getting to the place where it supports a pregnancy, that's a very vital time. For instance, like being depleted of folic acid going in, or folate going into a pregnancy, they have found that can lead to spinal bifida, and also cleft palate. So, by the time that a mom knows that she's pregnant, it's almost too late to do the supplementation. So thinking about these things early on in the development, and moms passing these things down to their daughters in preparation, just getting them in the position where, yes, we are nurturers. We like to please. We want to be the one to bring out the beautiful chocolate cake, and offer the spread of meal, and give all of the indulgences. But we also want to remember that we want to set others up for success in their health. And so it's a balance. It really is a balance, trying to really just kind of keep all those things in perspective.
Yeah, this is a wonderful conversation. I hate that we have to go.
I know. We finally got things started.
I know. It's fantastic.
I'm so excited. Yes.
We need to remind me to see if I can get that farmer's wife on the program again today.
Yes. Yes.
She posted a really cool, somebody posted a picture of all these watermelons. It was like a meme. That. Did you see that? And then she had a comment down there, and her comment was so informative. I'm like, oh, we've got to get her on.
Oh, absolutely. That would be fantastic. That would be fantastic.
So let me say to those viewers to keep checking back here on Nourishing Your Life's page, where we try to have a conversation every Tuesday if technology and life goes according to plan. This is brought to you by WordSong app. And if you've not downloaded WordSong app, you can go to your Google Play Store or your App Store for it's for any mobile device, so Android or iPhones. WordsongApp.com is a fast link to get you there. And yeah, we'll be here. We try to be here every week talking about health. And before we go, let's talk about those 10 essentials that people just should keep themselves balanced in these things.
Yeah. So, we start with salvation, the Word of God, and prayer. That's our main foundation. And then we've got the nutrition elements that kind of build out of that, where we're talking about giving us the nourishment that we need bodily. And those are, how we view carbohydrates and fats and proteins, vitamins, minerals, fiber, and water. So you put all of those together, and those are the essential 10 that helps to keep us whole, to keep us going. We've got the spiritual element and we've got the physical element that really feeds us, helps us moving forward, really makes us wonderfully productive humans, that instrument in the hands of the Lord.
Yep, we are fearfully and wonderfully made, and I'm grateful.
Absolutely.
I'm grateful for your input and your friendship, Tasha.
Thank you. You too. Thanks for doing this every week and being committed to this.
Isn't it a
Denee.
joy?
I appreciate it.
Same to you. Same to you.
Awesome.
All right, everybody. Awesome. Share this video so that other people can know about it. God bless. Love you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Love you.